What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. This story's called Entitled Mother Demands to Know What I Talk About in Therapy. She doesn't like the answer at all. This happened yesterday, and I'm still in shocked amusement about it. I honestly thought the next time I'd be writing in Entitled Parents, it would be about one of the entitled mothers I have come across in the wild. But alas, my own wonderful entitled mother demanded to let out her entitled side again, so here I am. Some of you may have read about her in my previous post. She wasn't the main subject of the post, but she definitely held her own. To the story. People involved? Me, my mother, Karen. If you've read my previous post, you know that Karen is just delusional, crazy, a truly repulsive person, entitled, barely human, pick any or all of the above and add your own as needed. And that I have very little contact with her, with good reason. We do still speak on the phone occasionally, around once a month, because I don't like remaining resentful and holding grudges, even if they are completely deserved. Hate breeds hate and all that jazz, and I like being happy. Well, the day before yesterday was one of the days I decided to give her a quick call, to check if she was still alive, etc. During the conversation, I made a passing remark about having an appointment with my therapist, at which point she went very quiet, indeed for a while, and then started questioning me about the therapist while trying to sound like she's completely indifferent about it. After getting absolutely nowhere in her questioning, she announced that she's driving to see me the next day, yesterday. Now, understand, this is completely unheard of and also completely unwelcome. We live in different cities. It's a long drive and I just don't like her company. It's also been well over 2 years since she's come to visit, so this was more than a little odd. I explained to her that I couldn't meet her yesterday. I didn't want to and that I was working, so I couldn't anyway. She completely ignored me and told me that I can make time to see my mother and that she was coming anyway. I kept asking her what was the point of her coming, a valid question in our relationship. We don't do social visits. And she said, does she need a reason to come and visit her son? I replied, yes, I've got better things to be doing, so if it's not important, what's the point? She obviously just kept ignoring me, told me what time she'd be arriving the next day, so unfortunately I was getting a visit from Karen. I've lived where I do now for about 3 to 4 years, and on the few times she's been to this city I live in, she's got this weird obsession of trying to get into my house. She's not welcome. She always tries different methods like, oh, I want to get you something for your place. Let's go see what you need. Or, how's the view from your place? Can I see? Or, can I use your toilet quickly? So, naturally, I don't let her. I've got nothing to hide from her. I genuinely don't care what she thinks about any aspect of my life. But I grew up with literally zero privacy. She and my dad would go through all my things constantly when I was younger. Bags, pockets, phone, room, etc, etc. So now when she's trying to do something that she has no right to do, I take great enjoyment from stopping her doing those things. And I'm always sure to politely let her know that the reason she's being treated like this is because of how she treated me for so long, and it's simply a taste of her own medicine. The look on her face is genuinely priceless when I do this. The time arrives and she lets me know she's outside, so I go down and meet her. Surprise, surprise, she had reason to try to get inside. This particular plan to get into my place was that she'd brought with her loads of her second-hand house stuff that she didn't want anymore, and neither do I, 2 big bags and a box, and told me she'd brought me some useful things for my place, so can I hold the door while she carries it in? I said, don't worry about it. You watch your car, I'll carry it up. There was no reason to watch the car at all. No, it's heavy. I'll carry it and help you unload it all. If it's heavy, all the more reason for me to carry it. Anyway, what even is it all? Don't be silly. I need the exercise. It's a load of old stuff from my house that I don't want anymore. It'll be very useful for you. She has zero knowledge of the things that I own. I've got everything I need. Thanks. I brought it all this way. Why are you rejecting my presents? As I said, I don't need anything, and I don't want the things that you are effectively throwing out. Shall we stop wasting time and go and talk about whatever it is you want to discuss?
Yes, so open the door, let's put these things inside and go.
You know you're not coming inside, so either put them back in the car or I'll take them inside and then we can go. She realized at this point, this plan of hers wasn't going to work either, so just left the things on the floor and got back in the car. I took them inside, hopped in her car with a big smile and said, "See, that wasn't too bad, was it?" The look on her face nourished my soul. So we arrive at the cafe, sit down and order some stuff, etc., etc. I cut right to it, because I really do have work to be doing, and well, spending time with this woman is close to being the very last thing I would choose to be doing with my days. So what was so important that she had to drive here then?
When we spoke the other day, you said you were seeing a therapist?
Yes, and?
Why do you need to see a therapist?
Why is that your business?
I'm your mother. I have a right to know everything about you.
You really don't.
Just tell me why you're seeing a therapist.
Because I think it's a healthy thing for me to be doing.
But what do you talk about while you're there?
I really don't have to tell you anything about it at all.
I'm your mother. I have a right to know what's wrong with my son.
I couldn't help but laugh at that little comment. You've never cared what's wrong with me, ever, and usually you're what's wrong with me.
How can you say that? Just tell me what you talk about in therapy.
I'll tell you a little, but you won't like it at all. The only reason I was willing to tell her anything is because I knew the effect it would have on her.
I'm an adult. I can take it.
Fine. Well, we speak about my childhood a lot.
What about it?
One thing is the fact that I don't have a single happy memory from when I was younger involving you or Dad. Dad's dead now. The only happy memories from when I was young involve my dog, my friends, and playing football. That's literally it.
I can't believe you're lying to people about that.
Lying? You're joking, right? You made my life miserable. Why do you think I moved out so young and stopped speaking to you for so long?
Hormones?
If I'm lying, please, tell me about these happy memories from my childhood that I'm now blocking out.
So I take you don't remember skipping down the street with me holding your hands?
No, I was genuinely interested as to what she was gonna say here, but this made me laugh out loud. No, I definitely don't remember skipping down the road with you. Now that I think about it, I can barely remember a moment when we've even walked down the street together at all, the truth. When even was this? I must have been about 5?
You were 4.
Seriously?
See, I told you you've got happy memories with me.
Okay, well, first of all, if I don't remember something, then it's not a memory, is it? And also, this can't have been a regular thing.
Oh no, we did it once or twice, but it's a lovely memory.
Once or twice. You do understand that one little thing from when I was 4 doesn't overwrite the years of crap you put me through, don't you? There was silence on her end. Because it doesn't. At all. And the fact that the happy memory from my childhood that you can think of happened once or twice when I was 4 proves my point.
You're being dramatic.
You're delusional, but I don't hold it against you anymore, hence why we are still speaking. There's no point in talking to you about these things because you deny it, blame it on me, say it wasn't that bad, etc., etc. That's why I thought it was pointless you coming today. So if that's all you wanted to talk about, then I'm gonna go because I've got stuff I need to finish.
Okay, fine, but please stop lying in therapy about me.
I'll keep being completely honest about you to my therapist and my friends. If you didn't want to be spoken about badly, you should have tried being a decent person. It's too late for that now. She just sits there staring at me. With a big smile, I say, "Well, this was lovely. Thanks for coming. Drive safe on your way back." I paid the bill and walked out of the cafe. Sorry this ended up long. Apparently I find it therapeutic writing about my DNA donor for you lovely folks. Sucky parents suck, but this guy's handling it as well as you could probably hope to handle it. You know, cutting them out of his life almost completely and going to therapy about it. And there's some well-deserved pettiness in there, which it's gotta be satisfying. I would say give a chance if they're willing to change, but his mom is definitely stuck in her ways as he's demonstrated to us. So, I think he's doing pretty well in my eyes. However, there is a fine line between, living your life without her having any real relevance to it, and living your life the way you do out of spite. And I really hope that he doesn't, go into the spite territory, because that would just, it's not fair to yourself. You deserve to live your own life, but it doesn't seem like he's doing that here. He's just trying to have fun and enjoy his life without his mother intruding on it, which is understandable. This story is called Entitled Parents Think Their Child Deserves an Honors Placement Regardless of His Class Performance. I worked in a pretty affluent school district for 14 years and met a lot of entitled parents. These two from my first year of teaching never left my mind though. Obviously, dialogue is not totally accurate. Sorry if it's long, go to TLDR if you don't want to read it. As an 8th grade English teacher, it was my job to recommend either Honors English, Level 1 English, or Level 2 English for my students' 9th grade year. Personally, I hated this. I want kids to work to the best of their abilities and not make them feel inferior when they just might not be mentally mature enough for higher placement yet. Math and science also had to make similar recommendations. To clarify, Level 1 was a normal, rigorous class, probably comparable to the class I was currently teaching. Level 2 was for kids who really struggled with reading and writing. Honors was very intense. Students would write numerous papers that might not even get graded. They would have multiple chapters to read independently each night, frequent tests and quizzes, and no grammar instruction because they should have already mastered it at this point. It was probably appropriate for maybe 20% of my students at most. Math and science were tracked in the same way. Parents never liked this either. Multiple complaints every year, but parents could choose to waive their child into whichever level they decided. Pretty much never went well. So many kids who would waive into honors would fail quarter 1 and need to drop a level before they end the semester. On the other hand, if a kid dominated in level 1, their current teacher could suggest moving them up. These two entitled parents asked for a meeting with me, the math teacher, and science teacher. When they joined us in the room we were meeting in, they were absolutely simmering with rage. Their boy had not been recommended for honors classes, and that was not okay. Basically, we explained, kiddo did a good job, did his homework, got solid B's and some A's, did what was asked, and no more, no less. He fit the description of a level 1 kid.
Either you are all wrong or this school has failed our son. He came in with straight A's in elementary school. You obviously didn't teach him well enough or you placed him incorrectly.
My husband and I graduated from Ivy League schools. Our other 2 children are in Ivy League schools.
Okay, but we aren't placing them or you. We are placing this kiddo, and if you do your work in our elementary schools, you get an A.
Well, you need to give him more time to do better. He obviously wasn't trying.
Honors kids don't need to be warned to try. They just try and succeed because they are really advanced in these areas.
How will he get into a good college if he's in level 1?
Every year, almost all of the senior class goes on to college. Some fantastic colleges too. Plus, if he does well, he can go up a level.
Then put him in honors, and if he does badly, he can move down.
That can be really tough on a kid. To be in a class with other kids and then have to leave because you can't achieve what they can. Also, the class has to slow down to try to help any kid who isn't grasping the material, and now the whole class is behind. It's much better for a kid's self-esteem to do so well they move up. Also, remember, you can waive him in.
We don't want to waive him in. We want you to recommend him.
All of our friends' kids are in honors. How would it look if we had to waive our boy in?
Ding, ding, ding. There it is. They can't hold their heads high in the country club if their son is just normal. We ended up saying if the boy made a drastic improvement by the end of the year, we would reconsider. By the way, he didn't. Even with some incredible papers written at home for my class, weird how he couldn't write as well in class. Parents waved him in. He bombed all 3 and ended up back in level 1 for all except science. Ended up passing science by the skin of his teeth. Honestly, my heart goes out to him. That really sucks, especially if your parents are comparing your success to theirs, your siblings, and your neighbors. Parents like that are so horrible, man. Ask 100 parents, 99 of them will tell you the one thing you need most with children is patience. Okay, let your kid go at their own pace. They're not going to be the best at everything. And if you really want them to improve, you got to help them, not pressure them. You got to sit with them, see what they don't understand, and try to get them help with what they don't understand. And don't freak out on them if they don't understand it right away, because you got to be patient. For me personally, I was pretty above average in terms of everything academic, but with art, I was really into art, but like I was not good at it. I'm not good at making stuff unless it's like food or something. But thank God art isn't really graded based off of quality of work. It's how much work you put into it. And I worked hard at art, but like I said, I'm not good at it. I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at sculpting. I did make this really good clay severed foot in art class this one year. And it was like really, really cool. I was super proud of it. And even had like, it was even hollow, so I could use it as like a jar or something. And like the bone stump that was sticking out of the top was the handle. And it was really cool. And I put it into the kiln. And I guess I didn't put enough holes in it, or there was a massive air pocket or something, because it blew up. And that kind of upset me. But that's beside the point. Your kid will be great at some stuff, but not that great at other things. And you just gotta give them patience, man. This type of parenting that these guys were trying to do, oh man, that poor kid probably had a lot of self-esteem issues. It just sucks. This story's called My Revenge Against the Entitled Parents. I guess this could go in petty revenge, but it does have entitled parents. So, the entitled parents didn't like that I went by Chris instead of Christina, my full name, or Christine. I fought tooth and nail for my name. So in the end, they decided that if I wasn't going to obey them, they would just forget my name. I had 5 sisters, and none of our names sounded alike. But for some reason, they would just forget what my name was. They would ask me, "Which one are you?" or "Hi, sibling's name." This went on for years and years until I eventually came up with a plan. I was in my teens and a male church member walked up to me. "So which one are you?" Smiling sweetly, I say. "Which one do you think I am?" He goes pale. Your name is, sibling 2 name? Nope. Then you must be, sibling 4. Nope. Try again. He eventually went through all my siblings' names, and then he had to admit he had no idea what my name was. I continued this for everyone who couldn't remember my name. I don't understand how this is revenge against the parents. Like, if you're okay with it, then cool, but it just sounds like no one knows you. But hey, if you're happy, you're happy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.